Your Holiness, it is 50 years now since England opened its doors to widely immigrants. During that time, the country has changed dramatically in attitude to people of all races. Do you think that because of the...
Please, the first part of your question was not very clear to me.
It is 50 years now since England opened its doors widely to immigrants.
It's 50 years.
Huh?
It's 50 years since England opened its door for immigrants.
Right.
Okay. During that time, the country has changed dramatically in its attitude to people of all races. Do you think that because of the size of this country, that it would be now acceptable to cease immigration for a period of several years until every citizen was living a reasonable standard?
In my opinion, nothing has changed. Some attitudes have appeared on surface, which were suppressed before. With all the due apologies to the British people, I must admit that according to my study, the British, because of a long rule of colonialism and imperial traditions, had always suppressed this snobbish attitude against the non-British. They were compelled to suppress it because of the political situation of the world, because of the communism, and the threat of communism against the common people. So they had to suppress these things. But after the communist empire exploded, there was no further reason for them to keep it really suppressed. But a long history of anti-racist sermons and speeches, etc., could not permit them to make a sharp turn and a clear, evident turn. That was one reason why anti-racist views are still spread in the society and still prevalent in the society. There is another reason why anti-racist views are not promoted or encouraged. It is because of the Jewish influence over the society. Because they know once racism raises its ugly head, it will strike against the Jewish people and their interest as well. So that is why these two factors join hands together to make the voice of racism suppressed, but the internal psychic reaction remains the same. British people can accept the Jews because they really consider them not as Palestinians but as belonging to the West. And it is their Western habit and culture and their long domination of the Western countries, which was not liked, of course, but their presence was, of course, known as being a Westerner people. So that factor all brings the Jewish people closer to the society, but still the Jews are deeply afraid of racism. So these are the factors, I believe, which would not permit the British people to react against the non-British openly. But at the same time, they do react. They do not like their overmuch presence and interference in their politics. Although the Labour Party has a different attitude from the conservative thinking of the British, and it is permitting more political role to the non-Britishers to play in their politics. But I believe that is only for the sake of votes. for no other reason. So that too is meaningless. They, I believe, themselves realize that the spread of overmuch influence of the non-British is not good for them. These are the factors which are becoming more and more apparent now. But also there are factors which are economic factors, which always play an important role in British economy, but you want to benefit from them without paying the price for them. The non-British labor is cheaper, and a large number of them are unauthorized immigrants. And again, the people from many Afro-Americans, I mean from Colombia, etc., and West Indies, people from African countries, although they are given equal rights in their labor, but because they cannot find job opportunities easily, so they lower their price themselves. So this is a factor which the British economists really understand, and they permit it to happen. So these are the reasons why very stiff measures against the immigrants cannot be taken. So the British decision makers are undecided between the two things. Yet it is impossible for them to throw out immigrants altogether or to suppress their inflow altogether. As far as the inflow is concerned, it cannot be suppressed because there are many loopholes through which the people go on entering. But in future, one thing is possible, that more and more Eastern countries can be resisted by new legislations and discouraged by new legislations. That is possible, and I think that is happening in the society nowadays. But these Africans, etc., they are less difficult to be suppressed, because you have your own traditional relationship with them, and you are bound to leave some doors open for them. And that is exactly what's happening these days. Have I covered all the parts of your question?
Yes, you have. Thank you.